Hello, artisans. For those who are joining us live and recorded, I'm so excited you're here tonight. If you let's start with doing some free writing, some journaling. Grab your journal, grab your pen real quick, and let's just, whatever's in your brain taking up space, let's put it on paper. It doesn't have to make sense. You're not sharing it with any of us. I'll give us a minute to do that. Hey, good to see you. And then if you want to give me a thumbs up when you're finished in a few. If you want to wrap up your thoughts. Awesome. Thank you, Echo. Thank you, Lisa. And you can stand up. I'm going to stay on the bed and stretch it out because I've got a whole nest situation going on. Hi, Asterisk. So you can move your neck from side to side, stretch your limbs. You can wiggle, you can jiggle, make some big faces and some small faces. Roll the shoulders. Yes, baby dancing is the best. And then come to circle when you feel centered. And let your breath center in your body. Yeah, you can rub your face, your head. I just like running my hands through my hair. You make sounds if you like. Just feels good to get out the tension. Yeah. And get centered and grounded. Let your breathing fill your body. You can close your eyes and just let yourself arrive. You had things before this. There will be things tomorrow, but we can be present and here. We are gathered here in our guild tent as artisans, as those who are seeking to grow and flourish together, to weave in joy, possibilities, and creativity into our lives. We come here to speak our heart's desires, our mind's thoughts, and share the songs of our souls. We see with our eyes, hear with our ears, and will hum along in our hearts. Let this space be open, sacred, and grounded for us here tonight. Let us hold hearts as we travel deeper together to better learn to love ourselves, each other, and our world. So you know the drill. Hello, Jet. Welcome in. If you'd like to verbally speak, you can raise your hand or notate it in the chat. If you would like me to read it, put an asterisk before it. If you just want it to be in the live, put it in free. So for our first circle tonight, please say I have spoken after you've spoken. Facial expressions are fantastic. Responding in the chat is fantastic. Hands on heart, snaps, all of the jazz. And if we can have a sign of agreement of a thumbs up or hand up, if you are willing to keep this space confidential for everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Asterisk. I highly appreciate that. And Echo. For our first circle tonight, I'd love to hear your name, your intention, and what does creativity bring up for you? So my name is AJ, and I'm excited tonight. My intention tonight is to be present. I ended up making a trip last minute to help a friend, and so I'm doing this from her guest bedroom. And so I just want to be here in this moment. And creativity brings up for me a little bit of pressure of if I'm not being creative enough, if like I'm not like taking full advantage of like if the well of creativity is disappointed, but also like possibilities, which makes me really happy. I've spoken.
I'm Lisa. My intention is to just be here and be present in today's meeting. Creativity brings up for me lots of freedom to explore and to problem solve. So I really love creativity. It's one of my key core values. I've spoken.
Echo, would you like to share?
Sure. My name is Echo, and my intention for the night is, I guess, to be around fellow creative artisans and have some girl time or whatever. Creativity to me is like, I guess there's a couple of types, because on one end, like for work and stuff, doing art for other people is very like pressure and not true creativity. And then so to me, there's like pressure there to be creative, but also in this box. And then I guess free to myself is just being true to myself and expressing myself completely and doing stuff that I want to do. I have mixed feelings about creativity. I've spoken.
Yeah, 100%. So for our poem, we have a short quote tonight. I'm going to read it twice. Let me know what resonates for you and what doesn't. No pressure if you don't like it. And for those who are watching, throw this in the comments underneath the video that we post. So it says, creativity is breaking out of established patterns to look at things in a different way. Creativity is breaking out of established patterns to look at things in a different way. So Lisa, what comes up for you with that?
So for me, that it is actually work. That is what I have to do as an information security professional, because hackers are always creative. And so when I respond, I have to be up to date, and I have to think about, how are they going to attack today? What are they going to do? And what I can prepare for my company to help better prepare and to get that message out there faster. So I've spoken.
Echo, would you like to share?
I guess not at the moment.
Oh, no, you're totally good. No worries. So we're going to do a meditation tonight about meeting our creativity. So one of the things that sometimes people struggle with is the different voices that we have inside. And we have a quiet voice that's like, oh, this would be neat. And last month we dove into curiosity, right? As this like, what would it be like? And like, what if creativity is the moving on that idea of moving towards it or trying it out or trying it on and seeing what that looks like. So tonight we're going to meet creativity in our soulscape, and it might be like a spirit or like a color or an orb or a person. It could be absolutely anything. So we're going to play with that. So if you want to get comfortable, no worries, but however you want to sit or lay or listen in, I'll play some music and we will get started. And if this is the volume I'm speaking at, does the music feel too loud, or does the music need to go up or down a little bit? If this is about where I'm speaking, music down a little bit? Okay, sounds good. Is this better? Feels better? Perfect. Sounds good. If you want to close your eyes, let your breath flow through you. You can roll your shoulders. You can gently massage different parts of your body to let it know that it's okay to relax in this moment and that you're safe. Feel into that space between your palms where there's just a little bit of energy where you can feel the tingles. And let that light tingling go through your arms, through your body, your hips, your knees, to even your toes, that you can feel those light tingles. Your toes all the way up to your chest and your shoulders and your ears, until it feels like every part of you is just like a twinkling night sky. And from this place, you realize there's a path ahead of you. Maybe you know this path. Maybe it's a new one. But start walking. What does the path feel like underneath your feet? Is it cool, crisp water, sticky mud, or the sound of crunching gravel? Keep walking. What's around you on this path? There could be trees or mountains. Or maybe it's an old street you used to walk on. Soon this path starts going downwards though. You might be on the side of a cliff, or a hole in the ground, or just a gentle slope of a hill. Start going down. You're safe and curious on what's ahead. You pass your heart door, keep walking. Keep going down, down, until you get to your next door, your soul door. What does it look like? Is it carved or painted? Are there words or runes on it or around it? Take a moment to look in your door. If you've been here before, has it changed since the last time you were here? It could also not look like a door, and that's okay too. When you're ready, you know how to go through your door. So whether you open it, slide through it, or breathe in it, go through your soul door. What's on the other side of your soul door? You could be in a nature space, or a place that you feel comfortable and seen and loved. Nearby or in front of you is the place where your dreams are made. So start heading towards that direction. And as you're on your way, you feel a tickle of delight near you. Your creativity is here. You might not recognize your creativity. They could be a person. They could be an essence or a spirit, like a small sprite. But what does your creativity look like? Take a minute to get acquainted with creativity in your soulscape. How does creativity move? How does creativity make you feel? Walk with creativity as you head to where your dreams are made. Maybe your creativity looks like they're baking something, and there could be multiple people or things working on your creativity. Maybe your dreams are woven together, or maybe they're stitched or baked or stirred. Maybe they're bubbles blown on the wind. There might be a place where creativity has worked on dreams before. Can you find the dreams that creativity has touched? What were those dreams? How do looking at those dreams make you feel? What dreams are being made right now? There might be half-finished ones or almost done ones that are just finished. What's being created right now? Do any look familiar? Do any surprise you? Creativity might be tugging you towards a certain dream or something that it wants to show you. Follow it. It might be dreams to come or ideas of dreams that are not even yet started. What are these? What do they look like? How do they make you feel? Who is there working on these dreams? Are there any dreams that you thought would be there but aren't? Is there a place where discarded dreams or dreams that didn't work go? Do they get recycled or are they put someplace else? Ask if creativity has anything they want to tell you. This might look like a picture or an idea or an inspiration. What does creativity absolutely love when you do? Does anything make creativity a little sad? And not sad in an angry way, but that they'd love for you to see. I'll give you a few more minutes in your soulscape with your dreams and creativity. Maybe you two work on a dream together, or maybe you stitch a different dream. However you want to spend your time. Enjoy your moment. Sometimes we can wonder if creativity is still with us. Is there a symbol or a sign or a nudge that creativity can give you when you're out in the real world, that when you see it, it's a reminder that creativity is always right beside you, just waiting to try something new with you and explore with you? What's that nudge or reminder? Could be a bluebird, or the wind feels on your face, or a vibrant teal of the ocean. And when you're ready, walk back towards your soul door, out of your soulscape. You can come here anytime you want. This space is entirely yours. New dreams are always being crafted and made, pathways and possibilities. This is a place where you can play and dream. But for now, go through your door and start going back up your path. Go past your heart door, keep walking. Keep going up and up. Until the light hits your face, whether it's sunlight, moonlight, starlight. Walk back on your path, feeling the path underneath your feet, and maybe the wind in your hair, or the sun on your face. Walking back to the sound of the music, to the feel of your body in the chair, the feel of the ground beneath your feet, sound of my voice. Feel your breath fill your body and your lungs. And when you're ready, you can stretch, wiggle, yawn, and make your way back to circle. And I'll give us about 5 minutes for journal prompts. You let me know, give me a thumbs up when you're finished with them, or type it into the chat. But here are your journal prompts of what did your path look like, your soul door, what was the textures or the way it was carved, what was your creativity like, is it a person or an object, a spirit or something else? How did your creativity interact with your dreams? And how did you feel seeing old dreams or new ones being made into dreams? And what makes creativity excited or inspired? If you want to give me a thumbs up or a hand on your heart when you feel finished. Thank you, Jet. Thank you, Echo. No rush. You need another minute too. You can have- Thank you, Lisa. Sierra, do you need another minute? Okay. For this circle share, and for those who joined, here's how you can interact if you'd like, by raising your hand if you'd like to verbally share, asterisk if you want me to read it in the chat, or just type it for a free chat. For this meditation circle share, you can share as much or as little as you'd like from your meditation of what came up for you, what was your path like, your creativity like. For me, my path is always this clearing, and then my soul door used to be this like cafeteria for like 5th grade, like elementary school cafeteria, and things were like getting painted and cooked and whatnot. And now it like I have an inner witch archetype that took over everything, and now it's a forest. But I have like this little lake where bubbles come up for my dreams, and creativity is like this Pocahontas wind with the leaves. And so it just like brushes over my skin and it makes me happy. And creativity is like, let's dive in to the water, but the water is cold and it's nerve-wracking sometimes to dive full into the water. But yeah, so that's what came up for me. Would anybody else like to share? And remember, there's no pressure either. So if you want to share, please raise your hand. Lisa, go for it.
So I usually have a forest path, but today's was spongy, and I realized it was a moonwalk. And like when I was walking along it, it was like pale, and then I started to bounce, and then I bounced up higher and higher, and I realized my creativity was from a very young place, because I saw the cow jumping over the moon, and I followed it to the moon, and I jumped into a crater. I went past my heart door and into a crater, which I knew was my soul door, and it was wide and huge and just totally. I couldn't see into it, but I just knew that it was fine to go in, and so I dove deep into it, and I landed in a pool of water, and then I kind of pushed upwards just a little bit, and it pulled me into my dreamscape, and I saw my parents there. So. And I realized that they were with me always, and they really wanted me to be creative. And I saw all the ways, like I saw my mother painting a painting that she had done, and my dad just playing a video game and mapping a dungeon. And I realized that I'm very creative, and I'm very connected to creativity because of them. I have spoken.
Oh, thank you for that. I love that. Would anybody else like to share? Echo?
So for mine, my soul door, you know, like on Monsters where there's just like a door with nothing around it and they go through them. It was like a turquoise, like ornate door. And then I ended up like, it was kind of like in this really beautiful canyon, but it was like a desert, and it was kind of like a drought kind of. So it's maybe thinking I'm in a creative drought. And then my creativity. So I've never read the Harry Potter books, but I listened to one on audiobook with my niece that was like the Chamber of Secrets, where the Phoenix comes and he like saves the day, but he just comes like and he at like the last second or inopportune times, and he's like really funny. And so my creativity was kind of like that. And let's see, my dreams were like the Sarapa blankets that are really colorful. Those are like what my dreams were. And then my dreams that there was like a boneyard, and that was like my dreams that didn't go places. And then, but it was also like me working on other people's dreams that don't serve me either. So it was really interesting. Yeah, but I have spoken.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. The boneyard. Oh, yeah, I feel that. Elizabeth.
So my creativity was a version of myself with better posture that was wearing like a coral peach dress, and she had like gold gold, but depending on the sunlight it would kind of be like metallic and turn to like blue hair, and she was just dancing kind of in circles and stuff, and she didn't stop dancing, and every step was a dream. And it wasn't necessarily like a dream was old or new or met or unmet, but every step she made, the dream would kind of poof and swirl up like a little bit of dust. And so there were none hanging around, they just were. And then James curled up next to me, and I was like, my dream's here. And so but yeah, I have spoken.
Oh, I just love that. And the dancing. James. Thank you for sharing. Sierra.
So my soul door was kind of like this giant circle made of like opal, but you could go through it. And then my path was kind of made of light, like moonlight. And my soulscape was very bubbly, like bubbles everywhere were kind of like my dreams. And dreams that didn't serve me anymore just kind of melted into the soulscape. And my creativity was like kind of like this little blob type thing that was kind of glowy. It was really pretty. I have spoken.
Thank you for sharing. Oh, I love soulscapes because I love meditation imagery. So if you want to grab your journal, thank you everyone for sharing. We're going to play with opening up our brains with following our nudge. So remember how last month we talked about curiosity and it's like got that little spark of like, hey, like what about creativity is kind of the follow through of that. And sometimes it can be kind of scary, both in regular day-to-day life and also in creating art, because it's like, oh, it's permanent, and like, oh, this line, and oh, I can't put that on paper, and oh, then I got to change it and I don't have an eraser. So we're going to play tonight. So just like a 5-year-old is like, let's have a blue elephant because it's a blue elephant. Like, let's live our best lives. So I want us to kind of play with this, and we're going to make a mandala tonight. But first, before we do that, we're going to get out of our brains. So grab your journal. And if you have 2 types of coloring goodies, so you can grab 2 pens. They don't have to be colorful, but they can if you'd like. I've got a blue and a green. Feeling mermaid vibes tonight. No clue why. And okay, I'm gonna do this upside down. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take your pen. Oh, I wonder if I can. Perfect. Okay, so you're gonna take your pens and you're gonna start together, and you're gonna do the opposite of whatever you're doing on the other side. And you can cross them, but it's kind of like making a mirror image. It doesn't have to be anything pretty. It can just be squiggles. And sometimes you'll do the same thing, like you'll go the same way. Other times do the opposite. But try to make them kind of going in synchronicity. Synchronicity? Words. You'll have a nice page of scribbles. Star, outside swirls, inside swirls. The reason we do this is it gets your right brain, left brain firing at the same time. So let me know when you're done with your fabulous page. Make sure to sign it because we're artisans here, living our best lives. And if you want, you can show off your artwork. Going for high places in Milan. Yes, darling. Absolutely fabulous. Fabulous. I love it. So you can flip to a new page if you'd like. And the fun thing about mandalas is that anything really goes. Mandalas are a way to kind of put yourself into a meditative state, and there's lots of uses for them as well. But for our use tonight, is to see what feels good next. So we're not thinking like, oh, I'm gonna build. We're not doing henna mandalas of like all out intricate details. You totally can. I'm not. You do you, boo. But so you can start with a circle. You could start with a square. You could start with a star if you'd like. I like starting with circles. If you're a little more nervous, that's totally fine too. Something you can do is if you have a yellow. I'm going to do this with the green so you can see what I'm doing, otherwise the yellow won't show. You can kind of draw a line like this. So it's like, oh, hey, like here are my, does that show up now? Let me make it darker. With yellow, you can make cross quarters if that helps you feel better. Sorry, you don't have thicker markers. But so what, tune in, and we're going to do tuning in mandalas. So what feels good for the center shape? And what color? Maybe it's yellow, maybe it's purple, maybe it's green. Feel circle vibes. Little circle. Excuse me. And then grab, tune in. What do you want your second layer to be? You can, mandalas are just consecutive shapes. So you could have triangles. You can see them up top. You can have humps, which is just a bunch of M's, one right after another. You could have swirls that are like this. So any shape, there's no right or wrong to do this. So what color do you want for your second mandala? tune in. And then grab that. So I can get some music while I'm doing. And so for each level, just tune in. What would you like to draw? Maybe one whole section is just scribbles around it. Maybe it reminds you of your dreamscape. Maybe it doesn't. That's okay too. The only ask I have is that you do something that you're like, yes, this sounds fun. Sometimes it doesn't work. That's okay too. That's totally fine. So let's do at least like 6 layers to this mandala. But I'm gonna give us about 4 more minutes. Does that feel good for everyone? Cool. Also, an option is you can write words around your mandala as a layer as well. As you finish your mandala, sometimes the pieces of art that we create when we're just doodling, when we're just playing, have a message for us. So I want you to tune into your mandala and look and see, maybe there's a word or a phrase that comes up. There might not be too. But is there something that this mandala wants to say to you? Or how does it make you feel? Maybe it's just an invitation of silliness. Or maybe it's telling you that it's okay to take a risk. So once you have it, you can write it underneath your mandala. Give me a thumbs up or a hand on your heart when you're finished. Thank you, Echo. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Lisa. Haven't already, start to wrap up. And if you'd like to share about your mandala, feel free to raise your hand. This was mine. Hard to see with my fine markers, but there's like just like space and fun things. And there's like lots of like floofy wiggliness and some water waves. And then I drew some like boxes in the back. And so my message was to get out of the box, be free, fly like the wind, bullseye. The second part was added, but yeah, so I like it. It's fun to just make a playful one and not have to be exact. I've spoken. Anybody else? Echo, go for it.
Mine, I guess it turned out to kind of go with the desert theme. it's like kind of turned into like the sun and kind of looking Aztec calendarish. And then in my words, it was like burning sunfire phoenix. So it was cool. It went right along with my meditation. I have spoken.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? Sierra, go for it.
So mine kind of looks like fireworks a little bit. And there's lots of free flowing, but also pointing inward and outward. Maybe just to kind of, let things go, contemplate more about like more introspection, and don't worry about things on the outside so much. I have spoken.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you. Lisa.
So mine's a little different. I don't know if you can see it. I used a lot of color. And I based it on love. So my symbol is a heart. And as I was doing it, I realized, like, as I was growing out the hearts and then doing some waves, I realized that I can take risks because I'm grounded in love and I have an established foundation. And so it's okay for me to take risks and make mistakes. And then it's okay, no matter how scary, as long as I remember who I am. I've spoken.
That's good stuff. Elizabeth, would you like to go?
Mine is kind of all like an explosion, like a star. And at the bottom, I said, shine like the star that you are. Yeah. And there's a contributing artist, so I have spoken. We have spoken.
I love it. We're here for more art is more better. One of the things, oh yeah, Jet, go for it.
I took a pause from work for a second, so I just painted it on the back of a pottery piece, but with some pottery glazes. But so there's mine, and my words were release and relax. So that was mine, of just silly and not paying it, like being okay with the with like the very squiggly mess ups that I just kept scribbling with. So that was mine. I have spoken.
Oh, please tell me you're gonna fire it so it'll like you get to keep it.
No, I did it on the sample piece, so it's going to get washed off in a couple seconds. I
Fair enough.
considered that, but I didn't want to run and find a piece to paint really quick.
Totally valid. Yeah. Thank you. I love all your mandalas. One of the things about creativity is it opens our eyes to new possibilities, right? Of like, oh, hey, I could do this, or like, this is possible. So we're gonna make our creativity titles. Sometimes we say, I am this person, and I do this job, and I do X. RIP Mandela. But this is a good like reminder for us. It's like the monks who do the sand mandalas and then they brush them away. So play. Some of you have done this before, but for those who have not, we're going to play a little Mad Libs. So I want you, oh yeah, you could take a photo of it. I want you to write down in your journal, you already have your name, but a fancy title. What is a fancy title? It could be Duchess, it could be Prince, Princess, Governor, Marquis, Madam. What are other fancy titles? You can also put fancy titles in the chat as well. So in your journal, write down a name of fancy title. Give me a thumbs up when you got your fancy title. Dance it. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, James. Thank you, Echo. Thank you, Lisa. Fabulous. Okay, now you're going to think of an over-the-top positive adjective. So this could be stupendous or fantastic or outstanding, but over the top, positive adjective. An adjective is just a describing word to describe a noun. I'm singing the song from Schoolhouse Rock, but I don't remember it. Give me a thumbs up when you got your positive adjective. Thank you, Echo. Thank you, Lisa. And then I want you to write down 5 things that make your soul light up when you do them. Maybe it's traveling or making banana bread or having dance parties in your kitchen or coloring or LARPing. So what are 5 things that you're just like, ooh, and you just like, you know, like your inside squished together in excitement. Down those 5 things. Then give me a thumbs up when you've got them. They don't have to be current. Maybe it's things that used to light you up too. That's okay too. Cool. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Echo. Thank you, Sarah. Okay, now what we're gonna do with these is we are going to create our creativity titles. So at the end of our Joy Guild gatherings, we usually claim ourselves as those who have descended from things that we have made before, those who danced or lived fully, and we create our own. But tonight, I'd love us to claim our own souls of what lights us up. A lot of times when we introduce ourselves, we say the basics, but I would love if we remember that we are more than just the basics. We are whole, amazing, creative beings, and you've got things that are just fabulous about you that sometimes we sweep under the rug because we're like, who cares? But like, if you are epic, like dancer to 80s rock music, I feel like this is valid information people need to know. So put it together with your I am the adjective. So astounding, fabulous, and then title, and then your name, and then pick one of your 5 soul lighting choices and like verb it. So instead of like, I love making banana bread, you'd be maker of delicious banana bread, or dancer of 80s dances, or LARPer of characters. However you want to say it, it is all good. It does not have to make, nobody's grammar checking tonight. So I am the adjective, title, your name, verb, one of your soul lighting choices. And let me know if you need help in the chat as well. And then give me thumbs up when you got that. Awesome. Thank you, Lisa. Okay, does anybody need an extra minute? Okay, yep, no problem. Elizabeth, are you good? Okay. So if you haven't heard of The Artist Way, it's one of the books I recommended for this month. It's a 12-week kind of journey that you take. But the book absolutely changed my life, and I've gone through it twice. And so I'd highly recommend it. It's just like tending your creative soul. But one of the things that she encourages in it is an artist date each week. And it's one thing that like lights you up, that your inner child is like, ah, yes. And it could be as simple as putting stickers on your letters, or making a fun new meal, or like buying Dippin' Dots at the store was one time one of mine, because I was like, I haven't had Dippin' Dots since I was like 10. And I was like, this is amazing. And I was like, oh, this is so weird. So there's lots of ideas online as well. But for our Joy Guild challenge this month, I want to challenge you for one of your 5 things that you wrote down that lights up your soul, to do that as an artist date this month. In Big Magic, Liz Gilbert talks about like being alluring for creativity, like kind of being open, because creativity and inspiration, if you say no enough, they're just like, okay, I'll be over here. Like, you let me know when you want to play. So creating opportunities for play and opportunities for creativity, like just like we did our mandala of like, okay, like, we're just playing around. Like, this is fun. And then a little bit of insight came through. And so go through your list right now of your 5 and circle one of them. And if none of them are an option because COVID, what's something maybe similar that you could do? So I'd love, for our closing tonight, we'll share what we normally share. Our so your creativity title, what your artist date is going to be for your Joy Guild Challenge. And it could be something in your home too. It could be to write a letter to somebody, or it could make up a fun dance to a song that you like, or make a hot bath with some bath salts. It could be super simple things, or it could be an elaborate like weekend getaway trip. Your favorite part and takeaway. So I'm gonna write mine real quick because that's my bad. I am the fabulous Lady AJ, dancer of shower dances. And my artist date this month is going to be like creating an outfit that is maybe a little over the top, but actually being like, what do I really want to wear today? And then wearing it. Because sometimes I'm like, oh, this would be fun to wear my SCA things. And I'm like, no, I won't. It's fine. So like, even if I'm in my house, it's fine. So that's my artist date. And my favorite part, listening to meditations of all of yours, like what happened in your creativity, makes my heart happy. And my takeaway is that it's so easy to draw a mandala and just like tune in. Sometimes I'm like, I don't have like a whole hour or 30 minutes, but I've got 5 minutes. Lisa wants to share. I am the supercalifragilisticexpialidocious Empress Lisa of playful interactions and deep conversations. I love that. Yes. And Jet shares, I am the nonsensical yet eager noble Jet, eater of all of the berry pies. I am here for it. Yes and amen. Would anybody else like to share their closing statements? And then Lisa and Jet, if you want to share either your takeaways or favorite parts, you are welcome to type this in the chats and I can share them as well, or you can speak them, no worries. Or none of the above. Echo, go.
I am the enchanted Queen Echo, connoisseur of mountain hikes. And my artist date is going to be, there's horse trail riding where we're at right now. So I'm going to do that, I think, this week. And then my favorite part of tonight was just, I guess, seeing everyone's mandalas and hearing, like, it's so fun how like it can be the same meditation and how everybody like has a different vision. So I love that. Yeah, I've spoken.
So glad you came. Thank you, babe. Thank you for sharing. Lisa shares, my favorite part was learning how to do a mandala. I've never done one before. Way to be. Good job trying new things. I love it. Well done. Would anyone else like to share before we close? Okay. So I'd love to give us a short blessing before we go. If you have oil or water nearby, you can grab it and you can insert whatever you believe. For Weaver of the Universe, this is just a blessing from me to you as you go about your day and your week. And as no hands and feet, you can tap there if you like. Thank you, Weaver of the Universe, for all of our artisans here and watching. Thank you for their longings and desires, and please just sprinkle their path with possibilities and ideas of creativity and inspiration along their path this week. I ask that you bless what they know, bless what they do, bless what they say, bless where they go. And above all, bless who they are. They're amazing and needed and loved in our world. No blessing to me and many others. Artisans, you are a treasure. Amen, amen. So may it be. Remember, drink some water this week and enjoy your creativity and post in the Joy Guild. Did you do your date? Take a photo. If you want to dress up, be like, hey, I have proof. Like, use us as accountability, whatever you need. This recording will also go up tomorrow, and the meditation will go up next week as well. Sing your soul song. Have a fabulous night, friends, and thank you for joining me. Good night.